So, I was at physical therapy the other day. Whilst I was getting tortured, an interesting conversation came up, and you need in on it.
I'm being tortured.
It's always nice to chit-chat while your tissue's being torn apart. That's what I always say. The question is, if you suddenly became tremendously rich, what would you do with all that money? This is after you've already paid taxes and done good for humanity and helped your mother's brother's cousin who's having a hard time. I want to know, what would you do for yourself if you suddenly had a big pile of money that wasn't going to run out and you were morally obligated to do something for you? That is the question. When I asked my physical therapist, he said he'd like an electric car and maybe a house that's just a pinch bigger because he has more kids than he has square footage. Maybe I should have worded that better. Man, if he has a 2,000 square foot house, that's a lot of kids. Anyhow, he'd like a little bit bigger house and an electric car. And he said he'd like to retire. I told him that's not allowed because I need him. But then the question was, what would I do if I had a bajillion dollars? Ka-ching! Now's your last chance to take a guess before I tell you. I want two things. First, for my physical therapist to never retire. Sorry, buddy. In fact, maybe he could just work for me. Anytime that my neck is hurting or my back or my leg, I just have to snap my fingers and there he is. Can you get this knot out of my neck, please? The second thing I would like is a fantasy that harkens back to my childhood. You see, I remember hearing about how the President of the United States has his own chef because he doesn't have time to make a sandwich. He's a little busy. 15-year-old me was like, whoa, if I became President of the United States, I could have a chef cook me whatever I want anytime I'm hungry. And I know exactly what I would want. Salad. All day, every day salad. Oh, I'm not talking the pitiful iceberg lettuce with ranch on it. I'm talking like real salad where they throw in artichokes or pumpkin seeds, quinoa, lima beans, edamame, blueberries, fun salad. Not boring salad, but like salad that's got the good stuff in it. Arugula. That's a hard word. This is why I like salad, because you can throw so many different things in it. You've got all this different texture. You feel good afterwards, and it's just like a flavor bonanza in your mouth. I deeply love salad. I could have salad, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of my life, on demand, any salad I want, and not have to worry about what's in the fridge. I just say, throw in an artichoke, please. And boom, it's done. That's my dream. So upon confessing the deepest desires of my heart, my physical therapist looks at me and says,
so if you had $1 bajillion, you want physical therapy and salad?
Don't insult my dream. He added insult to injury by sticking a couple dozen needles in my back. Thanks, bud. He's actually really good. Naturally, the first thing I did when I got home was I went up to my husband and said, hey, honey, I've got a fun game. It's called Tell Me What You Would Do If You Had $1 bajillion. Now, you don't really see my husband too much on this channel, though he does do the voice of Bob.
Yo, what's up with them zipper leg pants? Mind if I lend a hand?
Since you don't know him, I should tell you, he's a little quirky, as in, he's an engineer with a pinch of autism. Now, I figure many engineers have a pinch of autism in the mix. Our conversation went something like this. Honey, let's play a game. It's called Tell Me What You Would Do If You Suddenly Had $1 bajillion.
I don't have $1 bajillion.
I know you don't, but if you did, what would you do with it?
I would give it to the needy.
That's great, dear. I also want to help the needy, but this is a game. So let's say after you've helped the needy and done good for humanity, then what would you do for yourself? Anything?
Even if I had $1 bajillion, There are always going to be needy people. There is no after.
I understand, dear, but this is a hypothetical question. That's why I went wrong. People with Asperger's syndrome don't do well with hypothetical questions. So what would you do, dear?
Pay a lot of taxes on the bajillion dollars.
You're missing the point here, dear. Let me reword it for you. If somebody really nice, like a rich uncle, suddenly said, here's a big pot of money, you can spend it on anything you want, but you have to spend it on you. No charity or taxes, just you. What would you do for yourself?
That's not going to happen.
Okay, I know it would never happen, dear. That's why this is a game, not reality. Okay, I can tell you're struggling here, dear. Let me give you some suggestions. You've never traveled much, but there are cool places you'd like to see. Would you like to travel? Or what about computers? You love computers. Would you buy yourself a super duper cool computer thingy? Maybe?
I don't have that kind of money.
I know, but that's the point of the game. What would you do if you did?
I keep telling you, I don't have that money.
This is hypothetical money, dear.
You can't buy stuff with hypothetical money.
This is where I admitted defeat. Well, Foot. He doesn't do well with puns either. They're not literal enough. If you're finding this story entertaining, clicking the like button and all that jazz would be much appreciated. If you have an autistic person or 5 in your family, maybe you can relate to this story. In the wake of this highly unsatisfactory conversation, I'm turning to you. What would you do if you had a bajillion tax-free hypothetical dollars after doing good for humanity and your neighbor and your brother's cousin? Tell me, because I'm clearly in need of some reciprocal socialization. I love my husband, but man, those engineers are a little special. So pretty please, talk to me in the comments. What would you do with that bajillion dollars? Or do you have a really good autistic story? I like story time. Also tell me, do you like random story times? I kinda do. At any rate, I'm Stephanina, and here's a playlist of some amputee humor. And thank you for joining me today on my amputee adventures. And autistic too, while we're at it.